What's up, nerds? Welcome back, and today we're going to be checking out the GUN4IR. The GUN4IR is made by Arpeg Electronics, and Ray is a very talented man, and we're going to see why as I go through some of the ins and outs of this thing and what it's capable of. So let's get right into it. This is a really cool device, and one of the things that makes it so great is that it really gives you the authentic arcade experience. And I don't just mean because it's got recoil. There's a myriad of different reasons why you get more of an arcade experience with this than any other light gun on the market. And we're going to talk about why. These guns run on a sensor system that plugs into your USB port, and you just connect the sensors to your TV, one on each side of the TV. And if you're wondering how they're made using reclaimed PS2 gun cons and completely rebuilt from the ground up. Another question I've heard people ask about these is, well, why would I pay $400 for one of these when I can get a Sinden for $160 shipped? And the simple answer is, ask yourself whether or not you want a more authentic arcade experience. Now, don't get me wrong, Sindens are great for what they are. For $150, they use a border that basically guides the sensor, and they work fine for what they are. But if you're looking for something that is extremely authentic to the arcade experience, then you're definitely going to want to go with a GUN4IR. When it comes to arcade and sensor-based light guns, they've been doing this for a long time. House of the Dead 2, and many other light gun-based arcade games dating back into the 90s. Now, this is definitely not a complaint, but installing these sensors on a pre-existing arcade setup is kind of difficult. And it just depends on what your setup is like. For me, I have a bezel and tight spaces that I have to get into without actually pulling the bezel or the TV out of the system. Once you do get the sensors installed, they work really well. And I'm going to show you guys real quickly how to calibrate this because it takes like 2 seconds and then you're done. Like, that's it. All right, so all you have to do is go in to the calibration tool that comes with the gun, and then you're going to go ahead and click Start Calibration. Are you sure you want to start calibration? Yes. You don't have to be super close to the screen, maybe 2 to 3 feet away from it while you calibrate. You're going to see in the upper left-hand corner that there is a kind of moving diagram looking thing. You just want to make sure that all 4 points are connected. Once you confirm that everything is triangulated properly, then go ahead and start your calibration. Including the center point, there's a total of 5 points you have to actually shoot to calibrate the gun. And if you watch the triangulated points, you can see how smooth it works and how accurate the sensors are. And that's how you calibrate it. Now, as far as using this in shooter games, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky, but definitely no more tricky than setting up a Sinden in some shooter games. And I am just using that as a basis for comparison. Again, Sindens are a great choice if you're on a budget and you want to have the shooter experience on your arcade cab. It's definitely worth mentioning that if you have a steering wheel setup with a pedal, you can use that pedal as a pedal for games like Time Crisis or any other games that may have used a pedal alongside shooting. Or if you get the Jolt package, you'll get a pedal with that. Although Arpeg does offer a nice selection of high quality pedals if you're looking to keep the experience as authentic as possible. But basically with the GUN4IR, you're going to be using either profiles or a pre-config for MAME. It's not too difficult to set it up from scratch either, but let's take a look at some of the shooter profiles and see how they work. So here is my TechnoParrot folder, and this is my TechnoParrot build for shooters. And if you notice, there's a bunch of files with a green H or AHK files. And those are basically shooter profiles for the light gun games. And these games are specifically games that you can't configure the light gun for in TechnoParrot. The whole purpose is to be able to have a pre-configured launcher file so that you can just double click and play the games or use it in your Launchbox config. Now for other systems like Naomi, you may have to use AHK files as well. And I have a whole folder with demo, which basically uses the optimal settings for any light gun game that you're going to be playing on some of those platforms like Naomi. Anything that's not MAME, there's a chance you might have to use a pre-config file for the GUN4IR. This is Model 2, and as you know, there's a few Model 2 shooter games that used light guns back in the day. Namely Virtua Cop 1, Virtua Cop 2, and House of the Dead. Those are going to be ones that everybody likes to play, everybody remembers. And one of the cool things about the Model 2 emulator is that right off the bat, it's going to work with your GUN4IR. I didn't have to set up any profiles for mine or anything. I just loaded the game and it worked. So let's check out a couple of the Model 2 games real quick, just so I can show you how the gun works with those. Just a quick side note, for Model 2, if you go into the INI file and you look right here, it'll say draw cross, and you want to make sure that it's set to 0, unless you want to see the crosshair, in which case, keep it at 1.
Oh no!
Others are still inside. Save them. This is terrible. Where's Sarah and Ian?
They went to the laboratory. You can find them with this detector.
Look out! Help!
Good job.
Hey, over here. They went down with smoke. What the?
if you're wondering, this does work with Retro Lizard's gun boxes. His gun boxes are set up to run Sindens, GUN4IR, and even the retro shooters. So for $220, you can get his new M.2 setup and run any of those. Like I say with everything, it always comes down to personal preference and what you're trying to accomplish. But if you want an extremely solid piece of gear and a high quality, reliable light gun, this is definitely the way to go. You are going to get the authentic arcade experience with these. I'm pretty sure that's like the 5th time I've said it, but it's true. Big shout out to Joel from Retro Lizard for sending me this out of the goodness of his heart. And shout out to Ray for all the tech support as well. I'll leave links in the description for their stores and for their YouTube channels. So make sure you check them out. So if you're looking for something that's going to match arcade quality, this is 1000% something that I would recommend investing in. I mean, anything that you're putting in a multicade type setup, even if you're modding like a 3/4 scale arcade cabinet, I mean, you want something that's going to last you for a while. And these have really good tech support and customer support from Ray over at GUN4IR. Hands down, this is the best experience I've had on a light gun setup on any of my PC setups. While they're a little bit more pricey, what you're getting is what you pay for, and they're definitely going to deliver on the arcade experience.
Just to be sure. Wild dog. Time crisis.
Your father will pay the price for destroying the Imperial rule.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll see you then.
You